Welcome back to NHL Now and NHL Next. We have Mike Morial joining us from the NHL.com, and the draft is coming up. It's in June in Dallas, and the NHL released its Central Scouting midterm rankings back in January, so we've had some time since then. Has anything changed, Mike, on the landscape?
No, not really, EJ. Rasmus Dahlin is still the clear number one pick in this draft, and if he does go number one, he'd be the first Sweden-born player to be chosen first since Mats Sundin in 1989 by the Quebec Nordiques. Dahlin has 7 goals, 20 points, 30 hits, 36 block shots. Has averaged 19 minutes in 41 games for Frölunda in the SHL this season. He's the ultimate pro-ready prospect, EJ. His play at the 2018 World Junior Championship in Buffalo solidified that fact. He was the youngest player on the Sweden Olympic roster by 7 years. He has the skating skills and elite hockey sense that can dictate that style of play and the pace of a game, whether with or without the puck. He just finds ways to contribute and get the job done in all situations, EJ.
All right, I hear you. Darlene is going 1. So that means somebody's up next at 2. Who are the options at number 2?
You know, it's interesting, EJ. The last time a player number 1 or 2 was not American or Canadian happened to be in 2004 when Ovi went number 1 to the Caps and Gino went number 2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this year it could happen. Russian-born Andrei Svechnikov has the size and mobility that NHL scouts crave. He's on a 20-game point streak for Barrie of the Ontario Hockey League. Dale Hawerchuk, his coach in Barrie, actually said Svechnikov reminds him a lot of Hockey Hall of Fame winger Glenn Anderson and the way Anderson used to come in wide and then get that shot off. He's hard to handle when driving the net. Czech-born Philip Zadina is a shooting machine for Halifax in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Was great for his country at the World Junior Championship. 42 goals, 77 points, 54 games for the Mooseheads. It's his first season in North America. Dahlin's countryman Adam Boquist, 5'11", 168-pound right-handed D there, has a shot. And then Brady Tkachuk, too, EJ, at Boston University. Tkachuk has improved tremendously since the start of the season. 8 goals, 28 points in 36 games. As a freshman, he's hard on pucks, backs up teammates, is as competitive a player as you'll find in this draft class. And actually, BU coach David Quinn has him playing the half wall on the power play. Usually, that's unheard of for a Tkachuk. Get him in the middle of the net. He's battling in the slot somewhere, but he has him on the half wall because of his vision, his ability with the puck, and that playmaking ability. So I suspect one of those 4 players might go number 2.
All right, when we talked about Dahlin as the top guy, and he's obviously a great young defensive prospect, who are some of the other defensemen? Who could be the next defenseman or 2 drafted?
Yeah, well, we've already talked about Adam Boquist, who actually is the younger brother of Jesper Boquist, who was drafted by the Devils in 2017. But it appears right now that University of Michigan defenseman Quinn Hughes, Evan Bouchard of London in the Ontario Hockey League, or Noah Dobson of Acadie Bathurst in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League could be that player, EJ. Michigan coach Mel Pearson said he's seen a lot of players, been around a lot of players, but Quinn Hughes is that prototypical puck mover. He's like a Chris Letang type, learning when to pick his spots, and that'll come with maturity. Bouchard plays in key defensive situations as London's first defender over the boards on the penalty kill, and he runs the power play from the top. He plays a lot of minutes each night. He's really the cornerstone of that defensive core for the London Knights. And actually, he's top 10 in scoring right now, OHL scoring, with 84 points in 64 games. If he stays there, he'll be the first defenseman since Ryan Ellis with Windsor in 2010-11 to finish among the top 10 in OHL scoring. And then finally, Dobson won a gold medal with Canada at the 2017 Ivan Olinka. His game has just taken off since, EJ. He plays with a lot of confidence. He's a good skater, moves the puck well, jumps in and contributes on offense. Last year, he took a big defensive role. He had a big defensive role, was a plus 34 player as a 16-year-old. This year has shown more offensive acumen, 16 goals, 68 points, and 29 power play points. So those players, I think, defensively are very strong for this draft.
Yeah, the draft, it's a big pool of players every year. We talk about those guys at the very top, but there's always some sleepers in the mix. Who are some sleepers that you're hearing may get drafted?
Yeah, well, I really like, you don't hear too much about these particular players, EJ, but I do like Joe Farabee, left wing for the United States National Team Development Program, the U18s. There were only 2 call-up players last year on the under-18 NTDP who helped the club win the World Championship, and they were forward Oliver Wahlstrom, who could go top 10 in this draft, and Farabee. And I think that says a lot where Farabee is and his ability to play with big players, big-time spots. Has 23 goals, 8 power play goals, 31 assists in 49 games for the U18s this year. The best thing about Joel is his compete level. And he goes to those areas that most people don't want to go. So Farabee could be a player that you see maybe late first round, early second. If someone were to get him in the second round, that'd be a bonus. I also like Rasmus Sandin, the defenseman from Sault Ste. Marie in the Ontario Hockey League. Has a style that's been compared, EJ, by some to Chicago Blackhawks defenseman Duncan Keith. Offers real good hockey sense, competitiveness, and passing ability. And I love what Carl Stewart of NHL Central Scouting told me. He says you can't hit the guy. He's so elusive and mobile. He's got eyes in the back of his head, and he never puts his teammates in a bad position when he's passing the puck. He gets it to the wingers when they have open ice. So 5'11", 183 pounds. He can add to that muscle. He can add muscle to that frame, and he can quarterback a power play. So I really like what I see in Rasmus Sandin.
Mike, big weekend for college hockey. The Hockey East tournament semifinals are scheduled for this Friday. Any potential draft prospects there?
Well, we all know about Brady Tkachuk and BU. Boston University plays Boston College, and Northeastern plays Providence on Friday at TD Garden, EJ, in the Hockey East semis. Two other possible draft-eligible forwards to watch are right wing Logan Hutsko of Boston College and right wing Zach Solo of Northeastern. Hutsko, 5'10", 172 pounds. He's been a dominant player down the stretch for the Eagles. Has a terrific feel for hockey. His play in the offensive zone is great, and Jerry York told me he's been his most dominant forward over the last 3 weeks of the season. And then Zach Solo of Northeastern goes about 5'9", 184 pounds. Smart, two-way hockey player, EJ. His strengths are his playmaking ability and how he distributes the puck. Has a great shot, but the trick now is becoming that consistent force night in and night out. And he actually plays the point on the first power play unit, has been solid in that space as well. So a lot to look forward to this weekend in Hockey East, DJ.
Yeah, no question about it. And I'll add this, Logan Hutsko, he can hit the golf ball a mile. I was on the golf